Hi, I'm Mike McCarthy, and today we're talking about something that impacts us all, getting around Columbus and Central Ohio, all of the traffic we have here in and around the capital city. Before we get into this conversation, remember to hit that subscribe button below. Also, what do you think about traffic around Columbus? We would love to hear from you in the comments as well. All right, to have this conversation with us today is someone who knows a thing or two about traffic and transportation. Matt Bruning, the press secretary for the Ohio Department of Transportation.
Good to see you, Swords.
Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No.
You know what? Let's go for a ride. How about that?
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Let's go. All right, Matt, as we get situated here and start hitting the road, I'm curious, when it comes to ODOT and all the interactions you guys have with the public, is there one most common complaint that you guys get?
Yeah, I think a lot of people ask, why some projects take so long to complete. And I get that. I mean, some of these really involved projects do take some time.
Well, people drive through it all the time, so it's constantly a reinforcement of this is still going on.
Absolutely. And when you think about projects, for example, I-70 out in Zanesville, which is a multi-year project, if we were able to shut down the interstate completely and just do everything at once, it would be a year or two, probably. Certainly much shorter than a 6-year project. The thing is, you have to maintain traffic through that work zone the entire time. And so that's what makes it take longer. You're shifting traffic to different lanes, working on that lane, then shifting traffic back. And we see that with a lot of our projects. One that we're about to go see is the downtown ramp up.
Mm-hmm. And that's been going on for years at this point already. I think construction on that began back in 2010.
Yeah, and the other main factor, especially with that one, for example, is funding. I mean, these are very expensive projects, and so our resources are finite, so we have to phase them out. And so that's why you also see things take long. It's maintaining traffic and having the funding to do it.
ODOT has cameras everywhere, all over the state.
Yeah.
Different highways, different ramps.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen, even just on the news side of things, some, I'll say, remarkable behavior.
That's one word for it.
There has been some dangerous behavior,
Yeah.
to be blunt. We
Yeah.
saw recently a situation where a driver stopped, backed up, caused a multi-chain reaction crash. That driver wound up being found and cited. As you review traffic camera video, I'm sure every day, what's some of the wildest stuff you've seen?
I mean, that one's pretty high on the list, but we see that all too frequently. And I don't want to say the funny thing, the sad thing, I guess is the better way to say it. When we posted that video, for example, the number of people who say, or who said, I see that every day, or that just happened to me a couple of days ago. So it happens even more frequently than we see on camera. It just seems like, unfortunately, we seem to be in a it's all about me kind of mentality too many times when we're driving. And instead of driving for other people and being defensive and saying like, well, that guy's got his turn signal and I need to let him over so he can get in the lane to get to his exit or whatever the case may be. It's like, well, that guy's going to be in front of me and he's going to be slower than me. I'm not going to let him over. It's an inconvenience to me. If we'd all just drive for each other, I think it would be so much safer on the roads. But to your question, we've seen people stopping in the middle of the highway because they realize they missed their exit and you could simply go to the next exit and turn around. We've seen people cut people off. We've seen people, speeding at excessive speeds. Just a lot of things out there that make you wonder, what were they thinking?
To the ramp up work, what are we looking at here?
So this is the big flyover ramp in front of us that will take you to I-71 southbound. It is actually, I believe, the second longest bridge in Ohio once it opens, behind only the Veterans Glass City Skyway in Toledo. It's a massive flyover ramp, but again, the idea of what this is doing is untangling a lot of those weaving of traffic motions that this corridor has historically had. We want to try to make it where you're making a decision earlier as to which direction you're wanting to go, getting you in that lane, and then keeping you in that lane to make that movement without the need to cut across another lane of traffic. That will make things flow better and be safer. this is a transformative project for downtown. One of the things that I think is incredible about it is not just the highway portion, but the bridges that you see over top of us here. We're making these wider, more pedestrian friendly to help reconnect downtown to these neighborhoods to the south of the interstate. You know, we realize that back in the 50s and 60s when these interstates were put in, it divided some of these neighborhoods. Part of this project will be to help reconnect that.
Both on the ground, on the road with traffic, but foot traffic above, helping it flow more free.
Absolutely.
Easier.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the idea here being you're going to want to jump all the way to the right, but I wouldn't do that necessarily right now. You'll have to go jump it, like just exit at Miller Kelly. This is a perfect example of if you miss your exit, just go to the next one, flip around. There's another one ahead. Yeah. So in this case, you know,
I think what the problem is, I think it's poor signage.
that's got to be it. If only we had more signs and road tattoos. That had to be it. The road tattoos.
You call them road tattoos?
Road tattoos. Yeah, where they put.
No, I know what it is.
Yeah,
Well,
what would you call it?
I don't know. I've never called it a
Road
tattoo.
paint? Yeah, it's a road tattoo. Get a tat on your road.
Right, all of this is not making the cut, by the way. just to be clear with
I
editing.
figured as much.
I'm instructing when someone sits down and starts plucking away at this.
And it's not for the road tattoo. It's all good. Oh, and see, you stay in the. You want to exit here and then you flip back on. But the historical way to get on 71 North would be to do exactly what he was doing, is stay in that left lane. And you would have had to cut across all lanes of traffic to make that movement prior to this project. Now, 71 stays on the right, 70 stays on the left, and it moves through the corridor so much easier.
It took a while to get used to, but it's way more easy now.
It is,
even
absolutely.
mentally, the first time I was like, what?
Yeah, 100%. He did the right thing by not trying to dive across all lanes of traffic to hit that exit. That's what you're supposed to do, not stop. There's your road tattoos.
When it comes to what you're seeing on the roads with this dangerous behavior from drivers, do you think it's a matter of a lack of education, a lack of experience, or does it really come down to a lack of caring about others?
I think it's a lack of caring about others and respect for others. I mean, again, when you look at people who missed their exit, they are thinking only about themselves.
Right.
I have missed my exit. I have to get there. Everyone else on the road, who cares if I'm causing a crash? I mean, to see the video that we talked about, that viral video where the driver then just drives off, I just couldn't wrap my head around it when I saw it. It's like, okay, if I actually had caused a crash, I would feel awful and I would stop to make sure everybody's okay, take responsibility for what I had done. And that driver did neither of those things. To them, the most important thing was their destination, and the fact that other people were inconvenienced was not their problem anymore. And I just think that we all need to be better drivers, you know. We really do. And it's not hard. It's not hard to be a better driver and to think about the other people and how your actions affect them, whether that be being on your phone, whether it be excessively speeding, driving impaired. These are things that don't just affect you, they affect other people. So we have seen over the last 3 years a decline in traffic deaths, which is great, but it's still too many because the 0 is the goal. We're not done with this year though. So we really need to finish strong and make sure we have a third straight year of declining traffic deaths.
What do you credit that to?
I think that there's been a lot of education done by our agency and partnering agencies, a lot of enforcement by law enforcement, like the Highway Patrol. I think people are more cognizant of their driving behaviors, but we still have a lot of work to do. I mean, as evidenced by the videos that you see and by the statistics that we see. To have 3 straight years of declining traffic deaths, again, that's a great thing. We're going in the right direction, but we're still way too high. Way too high.
So we're on 71 right now, headed north. Where would this smart lane go?
So it will go on the far inside lane. That's where we typically will have that open up to. You'll see the wider shoulder here through this area. And there will be signs that will be put up across the top of the highway. And just like on 670, they'll have a red X when that shoulder is closed and is an emergency shoulder. And they'll have a green arrow when that shoulder is open for traffic to temporarily use as a traffic lane. What will happen before all of that, before we would open it, so what we do on 670 right now is we have a crew that goes through and sweeps that lane to make sure there's no debris, there's no broken down vehicles. And once all of that is done, then and only then will they open the inside lane and they'll lower the speed limit. So the other part is this is you'll have to have the variable speed limits out here because you're closer to that concrete barrier. We want to make sure that you have more time to react should something occur.
So fatal crashes are down, but you have a statistic from ODOT's perspective that's alarming for your agency with the number of crews that work for the state that have been struck this year.
Yeah, we've been hit 91 times now.
For the year.
For the year. And here we are in October. So we have a couple more months to go, and we're already past last year's total of 84 for the entire year. So quite concerning. And, I'm at a loss of what else to do to try to get the word out to move over and slow down. It's just such an important law. And it shouldn't take a law, Mike, to see somebody on the side of the road working and give them the respect they deserve by just shifting over a lane. And if you can't shift over a lane safely, slowing down. It's easy.
And that is the law.
That is the law,
but you see it all the time with people not doing it.
I know.
And the stats prove that it's not happening.
Right. And, the sad reality is I can go to any ODOT garage and I can find a crew that goes out on the road, and I bet every single one of those people will have a story about at least a close call.
How many fatalities are involved in those incidents?
Well, we've had 163 ODOT employees killed in the line of duty over the years. Now, not all of them have been move over, slow down related, and obviously a lot of them were way back in the early days of the Ohio Department of Highways and Ohio Department of Transportation. Safety measures have improved. We've been lucky, in that, like this year with the 91 that we've been involved in, a handful of them obviously involve some more serious injuries that require hospitalization, but for the most part, relatively speaking, they've been relatively minor. We have not had an ODOT employee killed over the last couple of years.
That's remarkable given the numbers you just talked about, because we're going, at highway speed right now, and if something would happen, it's not hard for that to turn very bad.
When we talk about work zone crashes, which are not just, our crews, these are like work zones like the downtown ramp up we just drove through. There were 4,000 of those last year. 22 of those crashes were deadly with 23 fatalities. When we talk about work zone safety and driving through work zones and slowing down and obeying the signage and don't follow too closely, that is obviously for the workers' benefit, but the people who are getting hurt and killed more often are the drivers you're driving through that work zone. So the safety messaging is for the people on the road, but it's also for the people driving on the road. Our goal is obviously everyone gets home safe at the end of the day. Our workers, the contractors that are out there, the people who are driving from work to home or whatever, the highway patrol, law enforcement, tow truck drivers, anybody on the side of the road, we want to see them all arrive home safe at the end of the day. And the best thing that any of us can do, pay attention first of all. When you see those flashing lights, slow down, move over, give them room, and obey the speed limit.
So there was a message that's getting some attention from ODOT right now. This whole left lane camper.
Yeah.
Don't camp in the left lane,
right.
I think is the...
Camp in Ohio State Park's not the left lane.
All right, so that's the message. What does that mean? What are you trying to alleviate?
Well, I think all of us, and I'm watching this semi-truck, this tanker truck up here that's sitting in the left lane right now, and you can see that vehicle behind him is getting a little squirrely, kind of impatient, way closer than I would want to be comfortable, and as soon as that tanker gets over, you're going to see that car take off, I bet you. The idea behind the message is that when you stay in that left lane, which is for passing, you start to see the road rage building of the person behind you. Now, we're not saying speed. We're not encouraging people to like exceed the speed limit. But we're just saying that left lane is supposed to be for people who are passing slower vehicles on the right. So if we are driving right at the speed limit, or maybe we're under the speed limit and we're in this right lane and someone wants to go faster than us, they should pass on the left, not the right. They can't do that if we're just sitting here cruising in the left lane. Obviously, if you see somebody who's excessively speeding, you should call law enforcement and let them know that there's a dangerous behavior. But when you get somebody who's behind a vehicle that's going slower in that left lane, tailgating goes up, road rage goes up, your heart rate goes up, you start getting angry. Why won't this guy get out of my way?
All potential for problems.
All potential for problems. And that's where the safety issue is.
I'm surprised that I see it too, but that's something we were all taught in driver's ed. The right lane is where you're supposed to travel.
Yep.
Left lane is for passing. But it's just, again, maybe it goes back to that whole idea of I'm going where I'm going, and
Right.
this is where I'm supposed to be, and
Yeah.
everyone else can deal with it.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I and when we put that message out on social media, a lot of the people commenting were saying, well, get out of my way. It's obviously a pet peeve for a lot of people. But again, we're not trying to say, well, the left lane's is the wild, wild west. You can go as fast as you want it. That's not the case. The speed limit is the same for every lane on the highway. It's just a matter of making sure that that lane is available should
Go west,
someone,
Ben.
yeah, should someone want to or need to pass you, they have that available lane to do that and do that safely. It's much safer than someone trying to pass on the right.
What we're seeing right here is this ODOT.
Yeah.
What's
Yep.
happening here?
So this is I-71 at 270 on the north side. We are doing a major renovation to this interchange here. This has been an interchange that we hear a lot of complaints about because, to your earlier question about the growing population of Central Ohio, certainly we're seeing that growing population, especially on the north side of Columbus. And this interchange, I don't believe, has been reconfigured since it was originally built back in the 70s, 60s and 70s. So adding some capacity here to be able to get traffic through a lot easier.
And how far along in this are we?
So this one will be completed in the fall of 2027.
So sooner than
Sooner than the downtown ramp up, yes. But still, and again, the thing that makes it take long, right, is we're maintaining traffic throughout. So maintaining that traffic and having to shift the traffic from lane to lane is what makes a project take longer.
How do you decide as an agency where gets the priority on the list? Is it based upon what? How do you decide to do this interchange versus doing another?
Sure, yeah. You look at a lot of different factors, right? We're looking at crashes, we're looking at future traffic capacity, we're looking at current traffic capacity. Where we're seeing those pinch points. And that's a part of it, right? And then, of course, you seek the funding. And the thing that people need to remember is you're here in Central Ohio, so you think this is the most important part of the state. We have to weigh the needs of Columbus against all the other parts of the state. It's not just about Franklin County or just about Delaware County or Licking County. We got all 88 we have to take care of. We love our children equally. And every place has an issue. I mean, the kind of like the joke that we use at ODOT is the most important road is the one you live on, right? It's the most important road in the state, or the one you use for work or wherever. And so why don't they fix my road? I don't care about Toledo, or I don't care about Chillicothe or Marietta or Lima. I care about the road I use every day. We have to look at the bigger picture. So a lot of that is what goes into it. Each of our 12 districts across the state will look at their local system. They get a budget, work within that budget, and try to address the biggest issues that we have.
I think a lot of people may be surprised to hear and learn exactly how much money the agency spends picking up after drivers. You go anywhere and there's trash along any highway, along ramps, and it's not like the agency isn't doing anything about it. You guys are actively working to clean up trash, but there's just so much of it.
There's a ton of it, multiple tons of it, literally. I mean, already this year we've picked up more than 524,000 bags of other people's trash from along our roads, and here we are in October. Annually, we spend about $10 million of our money as taxpayers.
I want to point out $10 million.
$10 million.
To emphasize that.
Yes.
That's remarkable.
Just to pick up other people's trash along our roads. You know what the free solution is?
Not throw trash.
Correct. And how is that such a hard concept? I mean, I think we all learned as children, right? Like pick up after ourselves, put the trash in the trash can. But it seems like a lot of us have forgotten that. The other thing that we deal with is unsecured loads. So people hauling things, things blow out of the back of their truck, or refuse hauling companies sometimes maybe don't have things secured totally. I get that accidents happen, things happen, but we see it happening too much, and it's just got to have people be more mindful. And if they're more mindful, then certainly that will save all of us some money.
$10 million. What else would you be spending that on if you were picking up trash?
Well, consider that one of my favorite programs that we do, Safe Routes to Schools, is about a $10 million a year program. That's the program that builds sidewalks and infrastructure to help kids safely walk and bike to school. We could double that program, basically, if we didn't have to pick up other people's trash.
Beyond the cost factor, it's also another situation that's a dangerous situation for the workers who are out there doing that job.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago on your very station that we went out and we even took a gentleman who had complained about trash on a portion of I-270 and let him go out with us to see up close what our people have to deal with. And I think his mind fairly quickly changed from just the trash problem to oh my gosh, these people don't slow down for you guys, do they? They don't. You've got our people out along the roadways. You've got Adopt a Highway people out along the roadways. You contract some work out with private entities to try to help stay ahead of the trash problem. And we, of course, use some partnerships with correctional institutions. All of those people are putting their lives on the line just to pick up after you, to make our roads better. But also, it's a safety factor, right? I mean, that litter, that trash has to go somewhere. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's going into the storm drains, causing a backup there, which is then causing water to pond on the roads. And that's a safety issue. And those people shouldn't even have to be out there doing that work because the trash shouldn't be there in the first place.
We're getting close to Thanksgiving. I don't know if we'll see it again this year, but one of the signs I always see from ODOT, or at least have seen in the years past on your digital highway billboards, turkey says, buckle, buckle.
Oh, it's a tradition. It won't go anywhere. Yeah.
Who comes up with those messages? Because that's kind of one of the more tame ones. I'm trying to think of some of the more interesting or comical ones, but where do those come from?
So several states started doing that years ago, Ohio being one of them. We started looking at that digital billboard as an additional way to try to reach drivers with some safety messaging. And we only use the messages when there's nothing else that's needing to be posted to those message boards. I want to be very clear, the main message of the main mission of those message boards is to alert drivers to things that are ahead, emergency situations, missing people, amber alerts, things like that. Mm-hmm. When those messages aren't running, the empty space between is when we try to run these safety messages. So in Ohio's case, we have a committee of people that sit around in a room for a couple of hours once every quarter. And we look at national safety campaigns from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, things we're doing in Ohio as well, and what can we put up there that will catch people's attention and align with those campaigns. So like one of my favorite ones that gets a lot of attention, turkey says buckle, buckle, but also headed to the in-laws, slow down, get there late, trying to get people to slow down. Was that yours? Yes.
Did you come up with that one?
Yeah.
Do you not like your in-laws?
No, I love my in-laws. Full disclosure, I love you in-laws. But I'm trying. We're trying to use humor because we know humor is what gets remembered the most.
Absolutely.
And it sparks a conversation. Can I look at statistics and say, well, gee, we ran that sign and we had fewer crashes. It must have been the sign. It's hard to make that conclusion. That's a jump. But what we want to do is spark those conversations. Turkey says buckle, buckle, for example. I always picture a family driving to Thanksgiving dinner at a relative's house or whatever. And, the dad cracking the dad joke, reading the sign, and the kids laughing. And then the dad saying, no, I'm serious. Like, it's about buckling up. You should make sure you're always buckled up, kids. That's what the goal here is. Try to get people to have those conversations so that ultimately we can change driver behavior.
I doubt you're going to answer this question.
We'll see.
What's been a message that's just been too inappropriate or that just was like, there's no way we can get that on the board?
So one that got rejected this year was buckle up, witches. But it would have been great.
I can understand.
Yeah, right? One that surprised me, we used this a couple of times. It was drive hammered, get nailed.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that people took that in a different way than we intended. And I'll let you.
Oh, I wouldn't have even thought of that. I clearly understand the safety message.
Right.
That is trying to be relayed with that.
Yeah. Well, here we are in a roundabout. How about that? It's a multi-lane roundabout, which scares people a lot. There you go. See?
They're going to take up both lanes.
Yeah. It's okay. You just stay straight through and we're good.
So roundabouts, they're here.
People love them or people hate them. There are very few people in between.
Do you guys build them? Because I've seen local municipalities building a number of them. ODOT builds them as well?
Yeah. They are a great tool. They do exactly what we say they're going to do. They virtually eliminate fatal crashes. They significantly reduce serious injury crashes and reduce overall crashes.
We've had a conversation that's kind of gone everywhere, as we've been all over, everywhere on the roads. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to point out with ODOT or that you want people at home to know or understand better?
I think the thing is, we've got people out there working hard every day, just trying to make these roads better. We need your cooperation to help us with that. Not just giving our crews room to work, but if you see something, let us know. There are lots of different feedback opportunities, whether it's calling your local district office, through our website, transportation.ohio.gov. If you see something out there that needs to be addressed, certainly let us know. We have about 5,000 employees at ODOT. They're not all on the road every day, other than driving to and from work from their homes. But we certainly welcome that feedback. We want to hear that kind of feedback of, hey, I saw this and it seemed out of place, or hey, I saw that and I there's a pothole here, or whatever the case may be. It's very helpful for us. So we always appreciate that feedback.
All right, Matt Bruning with ODOT. Appreciate the time today.
Hey, thanks for the ride. It was great.
You don't get chauffeured too often.
I really don't. This is amazing. Should do this more often.
Yeah, we appreciate you watching so much. Remember to click subscribe below. Also, give us those comments. We'll be going through those as well. Thanks so much for joining us on our ride around Central Ohio. We'll see you next time.